Give it up right now for Nardos, Osterhart.
Keep it going for yourselves. Thanks for coming out. So good to see everybody. Guys, I just ran my first race in 20 years. Yeah, I'm proud of myself. It's called the Irish Jig. It's because it's on St. Patrick's Day, and the night before the race, I looked up the course and realized that it's in my neighborhood. And I don't recommend running races in your neighborhood because as soon as you see your house, race is over. Guys, I was a quarter of a mile in, and then I noticed my kids inside my house eating breakfast. I had a fork in my hand in no time flat. Irish Jig, more like Irish Exit. I hate that autocorrect doesn't think I meant to use the word coitus. You don't think I'm smart enough, autocorrect? I've been to college. And it's not like my husband and I were caught having coffee. I'm just saying that kids need to knock. You don't just walk into a garage unannounced. I just turned 40, guys. I'm getting old. Do worry that my best years are behind me. But some of my friends say that my face looks pretty good for my age. And you know, I am very flattered. But I'd like to think that my brown skin holding up is the least it could do since it's held me back in many ways. Some of you don't like thinking about racism? What a luxury. A few months ago, it was back in September, I'm walking around through town when my daughters noticed a bunch of flyers for high school homecoming. And that's when my daughter asked me, who did I think would get crowned king and queen? I said, I have no idea, but I can tell you that it's a popularity contest. And that's when my daughter argued that you could win for simply being nice. I said, no dice. It helps to have money and know people. Like, take me, for example. We were so broke growing up, no one nominated me for anything. And that's when my daughter said, well, it sounds like you could have won poorest kid. She's right. You get that crown at Burger King. Guys, I work for a big corporation. They have a great social conscience. They're always encouraging us to donate our time to help build houses, serve food at homeless shelters, and I'm the first to sign up. It's the right thing to do. But one thing that I skip out on every time are poverty simulations. Poverty simulation is when you spend a full workday trying to overcome a bunch of obstacles as a person without any resources. And I never do it because that's like the first 20 years of my life. But my boss reached out to me and said, hey, it's important for you to go to this. I want you to join the group that's going next month. See how the other half lives. And I said, Kathy, with all due respect, I grew up eating bologna sandwiches 3 days a week. I'm trying to see how the other half lives. A few months ago, my daughter was afraid of the dark. So I spent the night with her instead of my husband. And the next day she was so grateful that she walked over to the convenience store and bought a candy bar for me. Made me a homemade card and it said, thanks for sleeping with me. I showed it to my husband and said, are you taking notes here? Last year my neighbors had a Japanese foreign exchange student stay with them. It was her senior year in high school. She was so desperate to come to the States that she lied and said she was fluent in English. They did the right thing. They took her to a local church where community volunteers taught her English as a second language. She was a really quick study because her first sentence was, I don't want to be a Christian. Some things you learn the hard way. So a few weeks ago, I was at home sitting on the couch answering work emails while killing it on Jeopardy at the same time. I got 8 questions right out of 10, which made me think they should have Kids Week more often. Killed it. Same evening, I'm standing on the front lawn watching my kids play when I noticed a police officer parked in his car on the side of the street for half an hour doing nothing special at all. It took all the restraint that I had within me to keep from going up to him and saying, "Do you have any idea why I pulled you over?" My husband is a really good father. Here's a perfect example. In the summertime, he woke up really excited one day and said, "I want to surprise the kids with a trip to Michigan's Adventure. Where should I tell them we're going instead so it'll be a total shock when we arrive?" I said, "How about Disney World?" Tell them we're going there. So I love to read, guys. I was reading a book about Marie Curie, and I don't know if you guys know about Marie, but she's a Polish scientist who discovered radium in the 1860s. This biography of her starts off with controversy right away. I didn't know this, but Marie was having a very passionate and illicit love affair with her dead husband's colleague. This man was married with 3 kids. The book included these love letters. They would make you all blush. She forbid him from having sex with his wife because she didn't want him any closer to the woman than he already was. I got to chapter 3 and had to put the book down because the rest was about science, and who gives a shit? No longer interested. So I have a coworker who's upset because he got summoned for jury duty next month. You guys know that jury duty sucks, right? So if you have a job, your boss is upset because you're unavailable for who knows how long. And if you have kids, childcare becomes a nightmare because you have to show up to court early every day. I looked at my coworker and said, "You should tell the judge that you're racist so you can get out of it." He looked at me and said, "Is it that obvious?" Now it is. Thanks for the heads up. You guys ever play hangman with the person who takes the time to get the ethnicity right? That joke usually goes over. Time for a new closer. Gotta tell the contestants coming up. All right, next joke. I love hanging out with my family, and a few months ago, my kids asked me if I would take them to the store so that they could get some treats for their dad. And his birthday was coming up. It was a really sweet gesture. I said, "Yes, let's go." And while we were there, kind of browsing through the selection, my daughter looked at me and said, "Mom, what's Dad's favorite candy?" And I said, "Dark chocolate?" And she said, "I'm going to need you to focus." I said, "Your father doesn't have a sweet tooth. He likes savory foods like beer and bacon. If you want to get him anything remotely sweet, I would suggest dark chocolate." I don't have a problem explaining things to my kids, right? That's my job as a mother. I do have a problem with my 8-year-old thinking that I want to have sexy inside jokes with her. "Dark chocolate, Natalie, you get it? That's my sweet brown ass." No!